Hand clap to the massive brothers and sisters. We are finally back. We finally made it to the one and only one video I'll be dropping on this YouTube platform. Welcome to this here Mystelics Reacts channel. Big up the massive brothers and sisters for definitely tuning into this here vibrations. Leave your thoughts in the comment box below, guys. And of course, don't forget to click the thumbs up button. I would appreciate that right there. And then click the thumbs up button. And of course, subscribe if you have not done so yet, brothers and sisters. Subscribe and turn on that post notification so you can get the latest vibrations when they tend to come through right there. And then I was going to be doing a second one, but I decided, you know what, guys, it's kind of a bit late. So I was like, you know what, let me just do one. Hopefully I get to do two tomorrow, and of course get that vibrations rolling right there. And then a number of you guys have to say, Mystelics, you tired drop one video, man, what's going on? And I didn't even drop any video on Friday, which is kind of crazy, brothers and sisters. But you know, it is what it is right there, brothers and sisters. You have to do what you have to do when you have to do it. You see me? Anyways, brothers and sisters, without further ado, don't forget, brothers and sisters, to leave your thoughts in the comment box below. I would appreciate that right there. And of course, at the end of this video, check out another video, of course, helping the algorithm to push these videos further and further. That's how they work now. You have to be interacting with the videos and stuff for, you know, for this stuff to go further and further if you want it to. So definitely check out another video right there and then. Anyways, brothers and sisters, without further ado, let us get into the vibrations for the day. Of course, we see this situation right there, brothers and sisters. This is very interesting. I saw this, I think, on Dominica breaking news. And of course, it's entitled, Thailand ends visa-free travel to Dominica. And of course, requires ETA now required for several countries around the world, brothers and sisters, according to Antigua Newsroom right there, brothers and sisters. And of course, this, as you can clearly see, is a number of the countries, which of course includes Colombia, Dominica, Cuba, Brazil, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, Guatemala, Jamaica, Panama, Peru, and of course they have United States, Trinidad, and Uruguay right there. So it's very interesting that I know a number of persons from the United States tend to go to Thailand and a number of places. Well, apparently visa requirements, they say, is the case right there based on what we're reading in that regard. But that is not exactly the case, brothers and sisters. As you can clearly see right there, it is the ETA, the electronic travel authorization that are going to be imposing right there, not necessarily the visa requirements. It seems like that was something that the persons will probably frighten about. But it's not only them that is doing this. I think the United Kingdom is also going to be doing this for a number of countries. And of course, you know, Dominica lost the visa-free access. So Dominica, for you to get it, you have to get the visa to go United Kingdom plus the ETA right there. I think they're going to be implementing that sometime later on this year. But of course, Thailand is definitely doing that thing right there. Of course, according to this thing that we see in travel and tour.com, world.com, starting December 1st, 2024, this year, ETA now required for US, Brazil, Canada, and more. Dominica, of course, included, requiring travelers from several American countries to secure an ETA, brothers and sisters, before their trip. This move ends their previous visa-free access. So it kind of incited visa-free access. It's not like they will tell you no to come, but it seems like they're going to be paying to go to Thailand, paying additional funds if I do get the, because if I remember the ETA, I think the European Union was talking about something like that, and they're talking about probably like $7 or $8 for the ETA. So it's not as expensive as getting the visa-free, not the visa-free, but the visa itself. But based off this thing, you would definitely need to go to the electronic, do your thing online before you enter the country right there. There are several countries, I think, that have this. I think Dominican Republic actually has that right there. But you don't pay any money. You just have to fill this out. I think it has it. I've been there a number of times, and you definitely have to fill out the form. I don't know if it's just the immigration form that is there, but you definitely have to do something similar before you enter. You cannot just say, I want to come inside. No, brothers and sisters, you have to have a reason, and then, oh, look something in my ear. Yes, all right, brother. We're good to go. All right, then. And of course, they're saying this strengthens immigration control and controls and border security with these new regulations, new measures, which impact citizens from the Americas who previously entered the country without any pre-travel documentation. Of course, visa-free access would indicate that right there, but they definitely have to go online and do that stuff. So it's not necessarily saying visa-free, because you don't necessarily need a visa. And of course, I was not going to do this, you know, because individuals need to also go and do their research. That's one of the things that I'm definitely an advocate for. It's not just saying, oh, Mystelics said this, and no, brothers and sisters, but actually went on passportindex.com, and of course I typed in Dominica to find out if there's a visa-free requirement. It seems like there's still visa-free access. It's just that there's the ETA, or maybe they will be taking it out a bit later on. I saw this article today, so maybe they have not updated this, but based on what I'm seeing right there, brothers and sisters, as of today, this thing is there. Dominica still has visa-free access. It's just that Dominica has to do the ETA, and a number of countries, according to this thing right there, has to do the ETA when it comes on to the situation. Talk about passport, brothers and sisters, and of course CBI. I remember last video, brothers and sisters, I was talking about CBI, and it seems like the opposition leader in St. Lucia is giving the Dominica Prime Minister some blows. Listen to this.
Let us not mistake what is taking place with CIP.
Let us not mistake what is taking place with CIP. All right, brothers and sisters? Interesting. Why does he say that? Right.
Blatant corruption.
Blatant corruption. There is blatant corruption. Amongst whom?
And can you imagine?
What should we imagine?
That
for those individuals that like to tell me stop. I stop in the video.
A sitting
Okay, sorry. Let's continue.
Prime Minister of Dominica.
Yes.
A country that has lost its visas to England, has lost its visas to Ireland.
I was in Ireland last year. Imagine that. I was Ireland last year on a different passport. But still, I was Ireland last year, brothers and sisters. No doubt.
That has become a laughing stock in the world.
He's talking about Dominica Prime Minister.
That a sitting Prime Minister of Dominica, a country that has lost its visas to England, has lost its visas to Ireland, that has become a laughing stock in the world.
Dominica has become a laughing stock in the world as a result, not of the people, you know. But it's still, you have to put some blame on the people. You know why? Because it is the very people, regardless of whether the majority wants change and the minority is still in Dominica voting for him. We have to blame them for this, because they are the ones voting for the Prime Minister, and the people who come from overseas as well also have to take some serious blows. You check, this is one of the reasons why elections should be based on the individuals living there. If you're from Canada or you're from wherever and you live in Dominica for quite some time, whether it's a year, 2 years, whatever, be that stipulation, you should have a right to vote. I strongly believe in that right there. You are a citizen, you get some sort of, you know, whatever it is, you should have a right to vote. Because you live in and you're facing the consequences. Therefore, the individuals who live overseas and then come into Dominica for 2 weeks and then going back and then say, coming back, I'm in Dominica and I have to come and vote. No, that should never be. Logically, that cannot be right, brothers and sisters. And we have people voting and as a result screwing up the nation, bringing people. Oh, Dominica, I remember United Kingdom tried its best to keep the thing to Dominica, and then they realized that the very passports that they give these people overseas, these foreign entities overseas, they too are considered Dominicans, so you cannot even differentiate as a result of the passports. So then Peter had to pay for Paul. Somebody messaged me earlier on when I was talking about something, and they say they cannot have this happening. We cannot have this happening. Peter should not pay for Paul. But Peter is paid for Paul in Dominica because of the foolishness. It's very interesting. We'll talk about something. I'll bring Professor Lumumba in a moment, brothers and sisters.
Would find himself on Richard Frederick's show. But there's a saying, birds of a feather will flock together.
Yes, sir.
A picture paints 1,000 words. But tell SKERRIT.
Chupul.
I will tell SKERRIT the same thing that Sir John Compton told Ralph Gonsalves in 2006.
Okay, we don't know what that is, brothers and sisters, but I really get the point. Right there. If you want, you can go and check this out on thing. Just type in United Workers Party 2024 rally Castries. Go on YouTube, you can get the full thing right there, brothers and sisters. But that is you get the point right there. And it's interesting that you're telling me. This is why I told when I did the last reaction, brothers and sisters, I was like, why is St. Lucia that is doing far better than Dominica wanting to look to SKERRIT for guidance? Now, you can look at this at two parts. One part would be, okay, SKERRIT has the biggest passport sales amongst the 5 countries. Almost half out of the 5 countries, SKERRIT has sold almost half of the passports right there. Where we not seeing the money in Dominica, we don't know where the money going, but we know there's $6 billion outside there, in accordance to Lennox Linton. And SKERRIT himself admitted that there are billions of dollars out there for development for Dominica that is outside there. That's supposed to be in the consolidated fund. But what do I know? But brothers and sisters, very interesting when he's talking about this sentiment right there. And you're thinking to yourself, why does these things tend to happen. Sorry about that, guys. My computer just messed up there. But this is what I really want to say right there, guys. You go into SKERRIT and you can look at this as two ways. One where he sold a lot of passports and you're trying to figure out how did he do it so we can emulate that. And of course, having proper due diligence. Not like what SKERRIT is saying, but actual proper due diligence taking place with the countries. Because you don't want to screw up to end up losing visa-free access like Dominica did for your country. You know, the people of St. Lucia are not as laissez-faire, so to speak, as the people in Dominica. They'll just let anything happen to them, you know. So it is interesting that they are looking to SKERRIT to try to guide them. The other side is these people are probably trying to see how they can get a little extra money because they are probably seeing SKERRIT building all sorts of mansions, all sorts of things taking place. I want to probably emulate him. Brothers and sisters, they say birds of a feather flock together like this individual. And he's definitely right. Why are you doing this? Why are you trying to go to SKERRIT? Go to St. Kitts. Go to some Grenada. Go somewhere else that has less corruption in it, brothers and sisters, to try to help your country elevate itself when it comes down to the CBI program. Do you want to lose visa-free access? Because one of the selling points of Dominica was that you can go to United Kingdom visa-free. Yes, that was one of the things. This is why United Kingdom says stop using entering United Kingdom as a selling point for your thing. It should be on the basis of your country. It shouldn't be on what the privileges is. But apparently people don't want to come to Dominica. They want to use this visa-free access. And United Kingdom say, not today. We're not doing that again. Ireland and a number of countries, even Guatemala. Guatemala say they don't want Dominica and the associations to come inside there at all. So it's very interesting that he's mentioning this. And I think that is a good thing that he's mentioning this. And I'm all for what he's saying right there. Be mindful of sheep in wolf clothing. Be mindful, brothers and sisters. Anyways, moving along right there. Of course, talking about the whole sentiment with monies and monies being outside and what have you, brothers and sisters. This individual, Angelo Allen, he's made a wonderful statement. I think I'm going to read it for you guys right there. Was the Theodore Ford scam? What? Was Theodore Ford scammed? Interesting question right there. Over the last month, brothers and sisters, Dominicans have been celebrating the world-class achievement of none other than Miss Tia LaFord Gatson after she won a historic gold medal at the recent Olympics in France 2024 right there. Then came a plethora of promises by the government of Dominica to include a diplomatic passport and a well-deserved reward of $400,000. $200,000, you know, in that regard right there. Concerns were immediately expressed by many people who complained or claimed that SKERRIT government owed large sums of money to local entities and individuals. Remember when businesses were putting up signs and saying no more LPOs from government, none of this stuff, because apparently government owed these businesses and have not paid these businesses as yet. Interesting. And sometimes owes a lot of money to the point where they're saying to the government, no, we don't want any more LPOs. Don't come and take things and say you'll pay later. No more IOUs. No, we are not in this. We need our monies to run our business in the very economy that you help destroy. And you come to help take things that I paid for and I'm not getting paid for it. Really? No, so these businesses are saying, But it's interesting that he's also talking about he giving Thea LaFord. And of course, don't get me wrong, you know, I think Thea LaFord should have probably gotten $1 million in that regard right there. Because on the conversion rate, when it comes down to EC, it is not much. $400,000 is about 150,000 US dollars, which of course, based off the athletes and people who have been winning gold medal and these kind of things there, you expect a few $1 million. So at least, you know, $1 million EC dollars would have sufficed. But it's also interesting, brothers and sisters, does Dominica have that kind of money? Keep in mind, I also mentioned some time back when I was talking about the government of Dominica was talking about giving $1 million to countries that were affected by Hurricane Beryl. I believe that was the hurricane right there, Hurricane Beryl. And I was asking myself, does that make sense? And some people trying to hold me to task and say, Mystelics, I thought you was saying that SKERRIT should give something. Yes, I definitely do believe that SKERRIT should give something, but you do not give something that you do not have or claim to not have. That doesn't make any sense to me. Because if you're saying the country doesn't have money and you're talking about giving $1 million to each country that has been affected by Hurricane Beryl, to say it, come on. I was more thinking of, hey, we should probably get some water and this kind of things there to send to these countries, some fruits and what have you, that can actually help them in that regard so we don't have to spend, monies that we don't have. Now he's making a promise based off this situation. I don't fully finish this thing right there, brothers and sisters, but you're making a promise to somebody because they won the gold medal. That needs to be done. Where is that money coming? Especially when you know that you owe several businesses across Dominica monies. Help me understand that right there. So shouldn't you handle business first before you do these things? Shouldn't you handle that first? Because you're making more promises on the indication that you don't have monies, but we know that there's monies outside there. Who knows what these monies are being used for? But this is also very interesting because concerns have been immediately raised by businesses. Therefore, the government, as a result of the government owing these businesses money. Government, SKERRIT, why don't you guys pay these people before you do these things? Where you get in the $1 million, you want to promise several countries that you'll give them just to say, oh, we can give them. You want to look like you're the best. And it's interesting, you know where they're going to get that money from? The people that are already suffering, that don't have, and the very people that they're not paying. It's interesting when you look at the whole dynamic of this thing right there. Concerns were immediately expressed by many people who claim that SKERRIT government owed large sums of money to local entities and individuals without adequate means of settling their debts or its debts. As a result, skepticism and uncertainty filtered the atmosphere, with fingers crossed and anxiety setting in, brothers and sisters, because you're not getting that money. Hey, last my business going to cool because SKERRIT can take things on credit. I wonder if they are paying interest. I think that will probably be a deterrent. Okay, you say you're going to pay us at the end of the month. We're looking for you to pay us at the end of the month. Every month you don't pay us, there's a 5% interest on it. I think that would help the government to pay, because the people then will be able to get their monies. On top of that, they'll get interest in that regard right there. So I think certain things should be signed before. That would have probably prevented that situation from happening. With fingers crossed and anxiety setting in, there was still a sense of cautious optimism that Dominica's premier athlete, Thea Ford, will be compensated as promised without delay. But apparently, that is not the case at all. Unfortunately, as most people have anticipated, news making the rounds on social media is that Thea Ford was given $20,000 with a promissory note that the balance will be paid in the future. I've heard this. I saw this on social media as well. That was over the weekend when I saw this. And it was rather interesting, brothers and sisters. $20,000 with a promissory note. So they give you they won't give you half, and not even $100,000 they could give you, and then say promissory note of the $300,000. They give you $20,000. Brothers and sisters, that is not even 10%, because 10% of $400,000 is $40,000. They gave her 5% of the amount, brothers and sisters. How well are things doing in Dominica? Why don't the government say, okay, we'll try to do a number of things for you. We'll probably build a house, build a house. So when you come, you can vacation. We cannot give you this, but this is what we'll do. Maybe give you $100,000, US dollars, 100,000 US dollars. Well, that itself is almost $300,000, but at least it'll be better and then a house, So it'll come back to the whole thing, because remember, we know where Thea used to live back then. She left at a young age to go overseas, which means most likely they do not have a house in Dominica. So she might want to come back. She will have to rent an apartment or whatever, or hotel or whatever, when she comes back to Dominica. So it makes sense that you build a nice house with one of them houses that all you tend to build there. Put her in a nice house. Okay, this house is yours. You have your own yard, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That would be nice, because it's still coming from the very development. That would help the situation right there, where she gets a house and she gets 100,000 US dollars right there. I think that would be, suffice. But you pay Nigel $20,000 with promissory note, and of course you still have schools to pay. You have schools to pay, you have businesses in Dominica to pay, you have individuals in Dominica to pay, and you still have Thea Ford to pay. With a promissory note, that's what you'll give her, as indicated right there. Alleged. So it's interesting when you look at the dynamic in Dominica, brothers and sisters, and you tend to ask yourself, what exactly is going on in Dominica? We have people making noise with anyways, let's continue. Is this a signal that the state is experiencing such financial uncertainties and crisis to the point of disappointing Dominica's historic gold medalist, Olympic gold medalist recipient right there? I find this very, very interesting. Especially when St. Lucia is seeing the very sentiment of this thing right there. Not me that say it, brothers and sisters. Not me that say it. It's an embarrassment.
That a sitting Prime Minister of Dominica, a country that has lost its visas to England, has lost its visas to Ireland, that has become a laughing stock in the world.
It's not me that's saying that, brothers and sisters. This is the opposition in St. Lucia calling Dominica a laughing stock in the world. You see, brothers and sisters, when the SKERRIT them was pushing, we are resilient, and people, we are resilient, we can fight and all those kind of things. They're not necessarily fight, but we can face hardship. And when the government was trying to put additional things on people when it comes down to the water bill, you know what he said? He said, yeah, man, the people can handle that. Man. The people can handle it in an economy that he has created that is totally against the very people that are voting for them. I find this interesting. I find it very interesting, brothers and sisters. Anyways, let's move on. Right there. So remember, the pal rep of Portsmouth. The pal rep of Portsmouth was talking about bright and creamy, brothers and sisters.
Boy.
This is Portsmouth, by the way.
What's Borough Square on Saturday? What's Borough Square on Saturday? What's this square? Not even me alone that can sell. Imagine.
That's on a Saturday. The brothers and sisters, some individuals might not know. Borough Square was not a place for bosses to come. Borough Square was a place for individuals to come and have activities. That is what Borough Square was intended to do. Or intended to have. And there was a movie theater in front of it called RBD Cinema. Where you could have activities and go and watch movies and this kind of things. Something fun to do in Portsmouth. Apparently, the bus drivers themselves struggling. They themselves feeling the bright and creamy. That is dim, brothers and sisters. That is dim and plumpy, brothers and sisters. Not creamy. Dim and plumpy is what is happening in Portsmouth.
What's Borough Square on Saturday? What's Borough Square on Saturday? What's this square?
Brothers, it's not me that film that, no. It's not me that film that, no. Anyways, brothers and sisters, there's something important that I want to get out to the individuals out there. I think individuals need to learn and listen. This is Professor Lumumba. Let me make this thing a little bit better so that the screen doesn't always look darkish, man. Let me make this thing a little nicer. All right, looks nice. All right. Brothers and sisters, let us continue in that regard right there. Take a listen to what Professor Lumumba, that is one of the individuals that has listened to and gained serious wisdom from. Professor Lumumba, brothers and sisters.
Idiots who don't want to participate in the affairs of their nation, they think things will just work.
They think things will just work and fall in place. When people meet me and say, Mystelics, but what are you voting for now? I care about voting now, boy. Nothing going to change. That's what people have told me, brothers and sisters. Nothing is going to change. So they just say, what are you voting for? Now, it's interesting that persons are saying, but Mystelics, if I vote, nothing going to happen. And I've heard that for quite a bit of individuals. And I would say probably like 1,000, 2,000 people have this ideology right there. Why would I go and vote? It's going to be the same. Now imagine this 1,000, 2,000 people who have that sentiment actually go and vote. You know how big of a difference that will be? Very different right there, brothers and sisters. But of course, based on what Professor Lumumba is saying, he's calling them idiots. Not on the basis of their mentality, but based on their actions. They are doing idiotic actions, brothers and sisters.
And of themselves. Then the idiots who don't want to participate in the affairs of their nation, they think things will just work in and of themselves. Then they are tribalists. And these tribalists, they think that they are only safe with people who are from their tribe. And tribe can mean people from the same culture, same language, or same culture.
I think he's referring to race right there. Same culture, you feel comfortable because these are the people. Kind of reminds me of where? United States, brothers and sisters. Knowing the track record of Kamala Harris, brothers and sisters. That lady is just irrevocably, for the sake of, being fair. Brothers and sisters, tribalism is because, that this person looks like me. Remember there's a story that goes about the axe were convincing the trees that it was one of them. And it was in fact the one that was cutting down all the trees. Well, that is similar to what is happening in the United States right now. She presents herself as somebody who is for the black people. And not even forget black people, brothers and sisters, for the people in total. And black people are seen, oh, that's a black person, let me support that person because they are black. This is called tribalism. Because you believe that you are sharing the same culture and experience with that person, so therefore that person is on your side. But you don't realize that person is being controlled, that person is put in position just so that you can believe the foolishness that you are saying. Because they look like you have the same culture. Matter of fact, the lady doesn't have the same culture because she was raised Indian. It's very interesting when you look at people and what they have to say in that regard. Because it doesn't seem like people are thinking. But anyways, forget that, brothers and sisters. We don't seem to look at people on the basis of the merit, what they have done. Why should you support SKERRIT? Why should you support Kamala? Why? Why? What have they done that would be beneficial to you? What have they done to put things in place that will benefit your children? What exactly? What? What? So these are the tribals. So you have the idiots and you have the tribals. Because the person look like me, I'll support that person. Not on the basis of the merit, not on the qualifications, nothing of that sort. And people like to say, oh, because she's a lawyer or she's an attorney. Well, she was never a lawyer. Well, she was a prosecutor, brothers and sisters. She was a prosecutor, prosecuting crime and what have you, brothers and sisters. That, her qualifications, because she's that. Brothers and sisters, you forget the whole Rona situation that was happening. When the professional doctors were the ones lying to us. They were lying to us so that we could take their thing. That was already paid for by our government officials. It's interesting. You know that, right? The government officials were already paying for these medications to come to us. So we will get it for free when we already paid with our taxes. Boy. Anyways,
then they are citizens. These are individuals who are responsible and know that when you want to be served, you must give those who have the desire and the intellectual capacity to serve you.
Must select who is right for the position. This is why sometimes I always tell people I'm not Republican or Democrat. I'm not United Workers Party or what is it, DLP or we're not none of those things there. We see the merit of the individuals that are in question. Are they able to do the job, or are they sucking at the job that they are doing? If they are sucking at the job that they are doing, or if they suck at the job that they are presently doing, trying to get a better position, brothers and sisters, knowing that because of the actions of these very individuals, you know that they will not be suited for a proper position to do things that is in your best interests. Brothers and sisters, I will never forget when individuals were talking about SKERRIT. Oh, give the little boy, give the young boy a chance. They gave him a chance, and look at the state of Dominica today, where St. Lucia has to say that Dominica is now the laughing stock of the world, not the Caribbean, you know, but of the world. Brothers and sisters, I've been in certain sects, and I listen to certain people talk about Dominica that know about Dominica, and they say Dominica would have been the #1 place to have been, especially when it comes down to economy and doing business. I met a number of persons who wanted to do business in Dominica and realize the economy is not conducive for them, especially when we hear about people putting tax. Oh, sorry, not tax, but fees on top of tax that the people themselves can hardly, they can hardly make it. But that is truly something else. That is truly, truly something else, brothers and sisters. But in society, we must know who the idiots are. We must know who the tribalists are. And we must know who the citizens are. But how do you correct that, brothers and sisters? How do you correct that? And I think Professor Lumumba answered that question, because I've asked a number of individuals, how do you correct, or how do you make people see that the decisions that they are making is totally not in their best interest? Brothers and sisters, I always ask myself, but wait a while, but Mystelics, but don't you think that if you are in a burning building, you need somebody from outside to come and tell you, hey, come out from the burning building? If you are unaware that the building is burning, that's fine. But if you know that the building is burning, don't you want to escape from the burning building? Somebody else have to come and tell you. Thompson have to then come to your village, to come to your house to tell you, hey guys, you're in a burning building? Really? Anyways. But I understand in the world, brothers and sisters, with natural selection and of course biology intake, where some people are not good up there. So I understand that part. And it's unfortunate that it has grown so much, where now the individuals at the top are saying it's 50-50. 50% of individuals who... But then societies, boy, let me stop. Let's continue.
In many societies, it is only a small percentage of people that can be called citizens, not more than 5%.
Ah. So the people who actually thinking are the ones, brothers and sisters. Where do you think I fit in? Where do you think I fit in, brothers and sisters? Am I an idiot? Am I a tribalist? Or am I a real, true citizen? Who looking for the betterment of the people, not even for myself, not even for me now? Betterment of the people. And the very people say, well, that is not my people. I've heard people saying, oh, my mother is Labourite, my father is Labourite, I'm born a Labourite, you're Ted Calbas. I wouldn't even call you a tribalist, you're an idiot. Because the only reason why you're not on the basis of you selecting, okay, that person's support. No, you're selecting it because your mother and your father was there. Not realizing your mother and your father was at a different time. So because they were there, you choose to be there. That's idiotic, brothers and sisters.
And if a society wants to grow in the right direction, civic education.
Something that is greatly lacking in schools, brothers and sisters. Civic education. And I believe that is lacking because they want to make weak minds. If you're not properly educated, brothers and sisters, and you remain ignorant, just like a number of persons will come to make noise with me, Mystelics, why you support Trump over Kamala? Because I'm not ignorant. I see the work, I see these things. People who are anti-God versus those who actually have the morals or principles and want to push it in society of God. Come on!
Is what will help the idiot and the tribalist to become a citizen.
Hopefully, but they have to want to learn. That is another part right there. They have to literally want to learn, brothers and sisters. Some people are comfortable in their ignorance. Can you imagine that? Some people are comfortable in their ignorance. Woe be unto man, brothers and sisters. There was more to do inside that, but I'll leave that there, brothers and sisters. You get the point. As long as they remain silent, brothers and sisters. As long as the people remain silent and do nothing. That's very interesting right there, because the citizens also have to have a not just a choice, but they have the competence, and they have the willpower, and should have the willpower to want to educate the masses. But when the masses, sometimes we have a way of I remember, and I showed you guys the ship thing. When one ship jump, all the other ships start jumping. So everybody just start to jump because, hey, maybe that's the way we should go. It's the same thing. We see people going down that one direction. We see the media pushing one narrative. And we say, okay, well, that seems like that is the way I should go. When it is not the way you should be going. Because we are not thinking properly, brothers and sisters. We're just going because that's how the crowd is going. As long as they remain silent, as long as the citizens who know better stay silent. Well, that is not my business, that's their business. And do nothing. Dominicans only have themselves to blame for the abuse of power by none other than SKERRIT himself. When I think of going to Roseau, this individual is saying, Dominica, it depresses me. Very interesting. Right there, brothers and sisters. And then, of course, we're going back to...
Boy.
Does not go into Roseau, it depresses you, much less staying in Portsmouth. Brothers and sisters, I remember when the Prime Minister was talking about reset. Remember, he's talking about reset. You would think saying these things is nice. Oh, you bring a reset, so everybody say, okay, reset, nice. He called reset, brothers and sisters, and the same thing is there. Absolutely nothing. Nothing at all, brothers and sisters. You talk about Marina didn't been handled by Dominica. I heard it's been handled by, what is the name again? Continental. So that self is another story. What is the PAL reps? I don't want to pinpoint one PAL rep. What is the PAL reps doing for the communities? What? And keep in mind, let me show you, brothers and sisters. There's something I saw right there. I saw this. This is Melissa giving Pampers, brothers and sisters. Pampers, you know. How on earth did we reach to a standing where Pampers, giving people Pampers, is something that you should be broadcasting? Pampers! Giving people Pampers is what they're broadcasting as something that is wonderful. Don't get me wrong, you know, giving people Pampers or baby Pampers, whatever, is not a bad thing. But to be broadcasting that as if that is something phenomenal that you are doing for your community. Pampers. Pampers. What have the power reps done that can actually elevate the standing of the people? The youth are wanting jobs. And it's one thing to say you get jobs, you get employment, brothers and sisters, but good paying jobs, living wages, where you're able to have savings, where you're able to put. I was doing a budget with one of my friends 2 days ago. Because that's one of the things that I'm good at, brothers and sisters. Understanding budget, understanding monies, and all those kind of things there. I was doing a budget with one of my friends, and we did a nice surplus of things where she was able to save at least $650 every 2 weeks. While able to do a number of things, put these monies aside for her to be able to do some investing and, you know, buy groceries and all sorts of things. A plethora of things, brothers and sisters. We had an Excel sheet and putting things down, and she wanted to make sure how she know her money is being spent and all those kind of things there. Living wages. Putting money aside for a house and what to, boy, what? We there promoting, we there celebrating Pampers. Because the people themselves cannot afford Pampers because Pampers is so expensive as a result. You would say, well, how are Pampers? So let me give a little link. When America sneezes, Dominica gets the cold, you know that? So when America inflation goes up, Dominica prices also goes up as well. This is why it's so important to elect the right set of people. The reason why inflation went up in the United States is because these people were going with the green energy people. And as a result of the green energy people that affect the oil, the gas prices start rising. That was, there's a whole year before the Ukraine-Russia thing that started happening. That increased prices as a result of these things. And more people had to put up their prices to meet. And there was also the invisible, the invisible tax, we call it. The invisible tax is when inflation prices start going up. When prices start going up. Not in merit of supply and demand, you know. But because government is spending too much money or printing too much money right there. You have the inflation value going up. And then it trickles down to Dominica. This is why people will say, oh, Mystelics, you're not going to vote, or they don't know nothing. But whether I going to vote or not, brothers and sisters, whether I can vote or not doesn't make a difference now. It still affects Dominica. It still affects the Caribbean. The US dollar, the EC dollar is tied to the US dollar, brothers and sisters. When the inflation value of US dollar goes up, so does the EC dollar, which means that your money is worth less. Today, we know that a dollar is worth 75 cents. No, 85 cents because of VAT. Because they pretty much have to pay VAT on everything in Dominica. So obviously, when you pay VAT for a lollipop, VAT for your car, VAT for this, VAT for that, you pay 85% of your money. And now look at the water bill. They're increasing, they put in additional fees. That's all, you get the point. All right. Anyways, guys, what are your thoughts, man? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below, guys. There was another video I had to do, but I'll leave that for tomorrow. Okay? So let me know your thoughts. Leave your thoughts in the comment box below, guys. Let me go and eat my breakfast. Yes, my breakfast. Anyways, guys, it is about Mystelics once again, guys. Don't forget to check out one of these videos that might pop up somewhere down there or wherever it is, brothers and sisters. And don't forget to click the subscribe button if you're not subscribed so you can get more vibrations as they tend to come through. Right, it's about Mystelics once again, guys. Be real. Salute the king. Be positive.